wildlife and trying to get more clear and easy to see information for the public so we all know what's going on. I just want to say, when I first started reading all these things up, I didn't expect it to be costing us an extra $11,000, $15,000, $20,000. But I'm all for whatever it's at the county. So we get to see what that looks like. I also wanted to talk about the building on 13th. Looks like we're design today. It looks like everything's been inspected and ready to go forward. But I just like to see more. What's the future plan now? How long will it take to do the renovations that we need to do? Use it? How much are these renovations going to cost? I'm concerned because we've been trying to get a storage building started for a while. We're going to be able to find contractors to come in budget to get all these renovations completed. And then what are we going to do with the property in community once we move it? We're going to stay down the road to use it to expand our EMS facility. This is something I'd like to know more about. Thank you. Thank you.
More important. Well, they say hindsight's 20/20, and I hope that in the progress of doing this new purchase that y'all are looking at doing, that we've had a little more foresight in buying it in reference to any of the deficiencies, because it's not a brand new building. Brand new buildings have deficiencies too, even after the builder does it. It's going to be quite interesting to see what that all is going to cost. And as David said, what's going to happen with the old location. What I'm really looking forward to is the infrastructure in this county growing in each precinct, especially in the EMS area, and taking a look at some of the safety issues that are going on in the county. But looking forward to seeing how this goes. And I'd really like to see a little more proactive in some of the things that some of the employees have put on y'all's agenda before in reference to safety, checking out the buildings and getting it finished up. Being a little more proactive than reactive, and I know it's not where you still have a lot of things going on, but look forward to all that. And I appreciate getting information from Commissioner Rosales yesterday. I went by his office and visited with him about this for about 40-45 minutes, and I had about a 40-minute phone call with Shelby yesterday in reference to some stuff, and I like some of what I'm hearing. So I do appreciate that, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this building turns out and how much it's going to cost to fix.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any other? Okay, we're going to move to item number 6, discuss the need for written permission to spray eastern outside of my boundary fence and the ditch along County Road 305 from the intersection of County Road 305 / County Road 250 and the Plato Creek Bridge on County Road 305. Needs written permission to do this according to Larry York, our regional inspector for EPA. Ensure the adopted citizen property owners that are sponsored by Commissioner Cruz Angelo's office.
So, good morning, Corey. Thank you for the opportunity to talk with us. Yes, so I have my property, if you look at the map, 14 miles northeast of Karnes City, and it's bordered on the north by Farm Market Road 627, on the west by County Road 250, and on the south, County Road 305. So there, I have a private pesticide applicator license that's in effect now, and so the #1 rule of the Texas Department of Agriculture is no chemical drift across your property line. And in the, I would like permission, written permission to spray outside of my fence, in the ditch along County Road 305. because I have still, after there was mowing last year, there are some flowers that are 5 and 6 feet tall, and bloodweeds and Johnson grass and all this. And so, with the chemical drift, according to TDA, you're not supposed to even have 3 or 4 inches across your property line. So this is why I need a written permission to go ahead and spray. I would spray from my side of the property. I would not be on the county's side, so there's not the liability issue there. I have chemical drift coverage by Texas Farm Insurance Company. And so I wouldn't be spraying the opposite side of the county road, only I would be inside of my property and using a sprayer that would be on the back of my ATV. And so I appreciate your consideration of this too. So I'd be authorized to do this since there would be a little bit of drift anyway, even if I spray it just on my side. So I'd like to be in compliance with TDA, and so I appreciate your consideration of giving me written permission to spray along my fence line and outside of it into the county right of way along the ditch of County Road 305 from the Cradle Creek to the intersection of County Road 250 and 305. And so that's basically what it is.
Judge, Commissioners, Sherry, I will work with us about
Ms. Santa, or Dr. Yanta.
I'm so sorry.
The chiropractor.
So, okay, I have worked with her on this quite a while on this. When she first approached me on this, she asked me about this. I immediately told her, are you licensed? She said yes. She came up with a license. I said, are you insured? Yes. She showed me the insurance. I told her, what about a liability issue? You can't have you on a county road doing private work because you can get hurt and there's no problem with that. She said, no, that everywhere she wants to spray is in the right of the county in the ditch line, but she sprays it with the inside of her place line, so there's not a liability. So we kept on talking about all this. She told me that Larry York is the one that told her that she needed written permission. She gave me his number, so what I did was I called Larry York and I told him, why do we need written permission on this? I don't know. And he said that these are the Texas Department of Agriculture and he's an inspector for the consumer protection. So he told me what happened at one time. They sprayed on a state highway and they hurt some orchards in some part of Texas. So that's why now somebody with that license, insured and all that, would want to spray something like that on a state highway or on a county right away, they would need written permission from the county. I then thought about it, I said, well, that might be a liability judge on us. So I did go back to ask Larry, I said, would that be a liability on us if we gave her written permission? He said, the applicator is a responsible party. So I went back and I talked to Mr. Giesler, and Mr. Giesler talked about maybe doing a permit, but a no-cost permit, but with criteria that would meet, that you have to be insured, you have to have a license for all of this, and what, I don't know, the permit would take away the responsibility and liability on the county. I personally don't have a problem with doing that, but I can't give the commissioner, I told her to put it on there. She was gonna put it on here, and I told her I would speak for her, as her commissioner, and I have worked with her on this. She came out with everything, all the criteria I've asked for. But on a written, like just a written paper, I don't know if that's good, or like Geezer said, do maybe a no-cost permit, that if anybody else would want to do it, they'd have to meet the criteria of having a license, the level of insurance for the drift, for all of that.
And also the chemicals that I would use would either be Weed Master, which does not kill coastal, it doesn't kill grass, it only kills the weeds, and or glyphosate, which would kill the weeds and the grass.
Larry did tell me, he said that he just recommends that. He's not, he said he would recommend something like that before we even do something like that. He said we would have to know the name of the EPA number, product spraying, all of that. But you have all of that, so you have the product. There's two things that are either Roundup or
leaf aster, which will not kill coastal.
I could have remembered.
It will only kill weeds. And the number two thing these guys come up with, the number two requirement of the state is that the label rules, so whatever the instructions are on the label of the chemical, that has to be abided on.
I have one question. You said you have a private license?
Yeah, that's right here, private pesticide applicator license.
I was just wondering about liability, with being here, can a private license or a commercial license?
Not a commercial, it's private, so. Why is that relevant if it's a commercial?
I want to say, I'm so sorry, but I asked Larry about that, and I want to say that he said if it was a commercial, you have to have 200,000 on the rep. And I don't quote me on this, but I do have to get commercial 200,000. And on the personal, like what she would be doing, that would be at least 100,000 on the trip. That would be regarding the trip, but if it's commercial, it's 200,000.
Yeah, and 100,000 is the maximum levy for your insurance can bulk it up to. And that's what I have.
Your Honor, Commissioners, I would just say if we're going to do some sort of permitting or something, we're going to have to set basically standards that apply across for everything. So if we're going to engage in something like that, I would think that at this point this would probably have to be tabled until we can basically come up with what those parameters are going to be to ensure any sort of liability exposure for the county.
Anytime that we put, if I put my signature on something, I'm binding the county line. And you know, that's not something that as long as I've been here, which is a short time, 5 years, that a landowner coming to approach the court for written permission for chemical drift. But you know, in my mind, that means that whenever I sign that, then I'm binding the county to be liable in the event that they call it damage to. So.
I understand. So what is your timeframe for considering this?
Y'all can get working on this, and then I can give you a call. I get with our county attorneys, and then I can give you a call.
Thank you,
So I
John.
appreciate your consideration.
Thank you so
And
much.
the other project that y'all approved for the drainage ditch on the corner of 305, it works. So I appreciate that.
Great.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Item number 7, we are going to acknowledge the proclamation declaring May 21st through the 27th, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week.
Pete, good morning, Board. How are y'all? Happy EMS week. It's a beautiful day. Yes, I have a proclamation to read for the recognition and activities for this week. Just before I read that, just once more, once a week per year, we have the opportunity to recognize the hard work of not only our agency, but that of the industry across the country. So if you have the opportunity to see our crews, or any crew rather, in an ambulance across the state or across the country, please take time to provide a nice little thanks. It's much appreciated. So the proclamation states to designate the week of May 21st, 27th through 27th, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services have grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the emergency members and emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week.
Now, therefore, I, Wade J. Hickey, County Judge of Karnes County, Texas, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 21st through the 27th, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week. The EMS Strong Team EMS Week, where emergency care begins, I encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. So I just think we can make it.
Absolutely, and we do have, for anybody on Facebook or in the courtroom today, we do have a stop and bleed, public stop and bleed class this Thursday evening at our Kennedy location, so we encourage everybody to come out and attend. It's free, no charge. I believe the time will be from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So we're excited to be able to share that, and not only EMS week, but also as National Stop and Bleed Day. So we're excited about that, and we're having our first annual EMS awards banquet Friday evening as well. Thank you all very much.
One, two, three. One.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, item number 8, acknowledge that the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles has acknowledged Karnes County Tax Office in recognition of exemplary achievement, statutory and rule requirements, exceeding required level of customer service, successful completion of training modules, and attaining registration and titling performance goals set by TXDMV.
Thank you. Good morning to the court. I was notified by email back in February that the advance award is finally arrived to me. This award is called Ribbon and Serve, the Performance Quality Recognition Program. It's for our office in recognition of extreme excellent achievement, statutory and role requirements, exceeding required levels of customer service, successful completion, and training modules, and attaining registration and titling performance goals set by the Texas Department of Motor Vehicles. A little bit about this program, it's designed to recognize the valuable motor vehicle services the tax assessors provide to the citizens of Texas. For the year of 2022, only 5 counties in the state were awarded this program. In 2021, 4, in 2021, in 2019, 6, 18, 7, and 17, 8, and that's the year that it started. So big round of this award. And bronze, there's 3 levels of bronze, silver, and gold. The bronze was about this thick that we had to completed to send into them. So I don't know if we're going to get silver done this year or not, because I can just imagine it's going to be expensive bit. But I just wanted to recognize for the courts and all the citizens to be aware that we did some support.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 9, discuss, approve, disapprove appointing Tammy Broadway, the Karnes County Tax Assessor Collector to calculate the local revenue tax rate and the voter approval tax rate for the 2023 tax year.
You want to get a statistical balance, you have to do every year. I just have to get, an approval to do it, or whoever y'all would like to calculate those tax rates. I just need it to get approved, so it's formality.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 9 as presented.
Okay.
None for this board. I'm not. All right, motion and second, all those in favor, signify by raising your right hand, anybody opposed to that, right hand. Item number 10, discuss approve, disapprove, to approve annual fee for tax collection software contract with Richard Abbott Incorporated, P&H, for October 2023 through September 2025. It has been reviewed by the county attorney. The contract needs to be signed and returned. The contract contains all hardware, third-party software, tax statement software, and licensing fee. The contract also contains truth and taxation, entity software.
Good morning again. Something that we just have to get done, the contract that we currently have expires on September 30th of this year. Kevin, for Matt Burnett with PNA is with me. If I have any questions about the software, if y'all want to know some of that.
We've got some statistics that I'd like to share with you. This year, your tax roll keeps growing. Your tax roll this year was 100, last year was 169,000 pages, 20,796 envelopes, so it's a rather large tax roll. Your website activity has picked up in it. We've had so far this year 200,986 hits. We haven't even got to the busy season, so it seems that more people are drifting to the website to look at information. Our support team in loading rental changes from the appraisal side of Richard Abbott, we spent 254 hours in support last year on servicing the software contract. The truth in taxation that you just mentioned, that website was hit 1,920 times. That's kind of disappointing. But I think a lot of that has to do with the verbiage on the postcard that has to be sent out every year. I think it confuses the taxpayers more than it helps them. There is talk in Austin. They're doing away with that postcard. Another interesting fact is credit cards keep climbing. 2022, we had $2,160,000 paid, taxes paid on credit cards. The only thing I suggested to Nancy is you do have one PC in her office that was purchased in 2024, and it's a Windows 7 machine. In my opinion, that's a security risk. And of course, all of this is now on the cloud. So it's a point of weakness in the whole network. So I would suggest that y'all look at that machine and place it on the upgraded. Well, we'll just address it. We appreciate Tammy's group. It's an easy client to work for, considering the volume that's going through there. And we'll have to work 2 more years. Thank you.
I believe on those pages that I included, that copies of the contract, all the different pages, the county attorney did look at it. I was concerned about the 50,000 bid thing. I was informed that professional services do not apply to that. Yeah. And it's also been talking to the legislature about upping it to 100,000 if it passes for in the future.
Yes,
And the technical support is included, or their charge for technical support?
No, sir. That 254 hours is included.
You said a computer requirement.
The counter printer, excuse me, counter PC was purchased in 2004.
You said 24.
Okay. I understand.
2004,
do you have the contract for your signs?
I've got the contract right here. So, go see now or after?
After, there's no more
stating.
Okay, got a motion and a second, all those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, motion carries. I'll grab that for you after, and I'll sign it. Thank you for your business. Sir.
Thank you so much.
Item number 11, discuss / take possible action, presentation / demonstration, and possible action to approve purchase of Civic Plus agenda and meeting management software to be used for the agenda presentation and minutes preparation for commissioner court meetings. This would be included in the fiscal year 2024 budget. Cost for implementation in the first year is $11,261. Cost for second year forward will be $5,035.08. Available optional enhancements is Civic Clerk Media Plus, which would allow for video integration and live streaming. Cost for initial term is $8,547. An annual recurring fee is $7,871.85.
So we've had discussions about adding the minutes and the video on the website. I reached out to the company, we had a demo, Michelle said they should be for a demo of this product that would be very integrated, so there would be and Jason said the bus was going to help me kind of better, there would be a portal for the commissioners to go in and receive your packet, produce different items that would be Michelle would produce the agenda from this. The minutes would be in there. There would be a public portal for the public to go in and do a search. You wouldn't have to go through, agenda item, you could do a text search, you could write on you're looking for. The optional enhancement would be for the video of the meetings to be released to our website. I believe Jason's gonna clarify for me all of this is on the file, so there's an archive of the meetings, of both the written minutes and the video, and we just wanted to give you guys a demonstration of it. And so Jason and Hannah Civic wants to do that.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy's gonna hook us up. They should turn. They were on. There they go.
Jason, can you hear us? Can you hear us? hear us?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Awesome.
All right, let's go ahead, start your presentation. I'll see you here now.
Awesome, very good. Thank you so much, everyone. Just a real quick confirmation. Are you able to see the screen I'm sharing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thanks everyone for giving us the opportunity to do a quick presentation for you on this meeting. My name is Jason Clapp. I'm an account executive with Civic Plus, covering our agenda management software. I have Hannah Meadows joining us, who will be giving the demo of the software. She is a solutions engineer for Civic Plus, covering our agenda system. So thank you, Hannah, for joining us. I'll be kicking us off here, just doing a quick overview of who Civic Plus is. If you're not familiar with Civic Plus, we are a software as a service company dedicated specifically to just serving local government and local government entities. So today we're going to be covering Civic Clerk, our agenda and meeting management software. Just a quick note, we are going through a rebranding of the software, changing it to more functionality-based naming. So if you hear us use the name Agenda Select or Civic Clerk, just know that they mean the same thing. They're the same system, just switching from one name to another. That's a bit more simple. As I mentioned, Civic Plus is a software as a service company. We're dedicated to working with local governments. Our whole vision, our whole mission is to help government work better. And so across our many different software suites, we are able to have over 12,000 local governments that we partner with. And through those partnerships, we're able to interact with over 100,000 platform administrative users, staff, commission members, people in the system being able to accomplish processes and increase transparency through our softwares. And through that, they're increasing transparency to over 340 million plus residents, and that's mostly in the U.S., but a few sprinkled in Canada. At Civic Plus, we really have a vision that we've coined as the Civic Experience, which is, the best way I need to describe it is kind of like the Amazon app on our phones, right? Is when we want something and we're not exactly sure maybe what it even is that we want, we know that we can go to the Amazon app on our phone or on our computers, and we can go to that digital portal and we can use the search mechanisms to search for our different options, find what we need, put in an order for it, maybe read some reviews, read some descriptions of it, put in that order and track it to completion, right? That same feel the private sector has, we want to bring that into the public sector. And so you can see around our different integrated product portfolio here, how we would be able to do that in this one digital portal, be able to help not only staff be able to find all the information they need and accomplish their processes, but help citizens and constituents as well find all the information that they need. So that is a brief overview of Civic Plus. I'm happy to answer any additional questions related to the company, but just for the sake of your time and being respectful towards it, I'm going to hand the meeting over to Hannah to begin the demonstration. But again, happy to answer any questions that may come up.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Do we have Carol or Michelle in the room?
We're both here.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to share my screen here. All right, I'm going to confirm just like Jason did. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to be walking you all through what we have to offer with our agenda meeting management software on the public facing side of things. So what your citizens can see if they come out to your website to view any meeting materials. I'm also going to be showing you a portal specific to just you all as commissioners. So I'm going to be showing you two different point of views today. What you won't see is the whole back-end experience. So the back-end experience for Carol, for Michelle, or for Jamie, or whoever's working in the back-end, and how it is, making their life easier when it comes to creating these agenda or these meeting materials. So when it comes to creating the agenda or the packets or the minutes, and making it easier on that process, but also making it easier for them to distribute the materials across the board. So to you all as commissioners, as well as to the public and to your citizens as well. So you're only going to be seeing a little snippet of things today. Just know that there's a whole back end that's doing basically a lot of the work, and again, just making it easier on Carol and Michelle and Jamie or whoever's putting those meeting materials together. So with that being said, what you're seeing right now is Travis County, Texas. You are seeing, if I come here to events, this is just an example of their public portal that they've linked out to through their website. But when I get to this page, I'm able to see I can filter down by specific meeting dates. So if I only wanted to see meetings from, maybe the month of April to May, I would be able to put those dates in and just see those specific meetings only. I'm also able to search by specific meeting types. So they only publish out, commissioners court information, but if you had other smaller boards and committees that lived underneath you all, you would be able to post those out on the same portal and filter just for those specific meeting types here. They're also able to keyword search. So if they wanted to come here and search a specific keyword, so maybe if I typed in the word commercial, it would pull everything that had the word commercial, whether it was an agenda item, whether it was in the minutes, whatever the case may be, it would go ahead and pull everything that had the word commercial in it. So I can see here that this is an attachment that was included in the packet that had the word commercial, and I can hit download and it pulls that attachment up for me. So really just making it easier for your citizens to find things on their own, maybe helping cut down on phone calls or whatever the case may be on the staff side of things. And they're also able to click into specific meetings. So if they were to click into, in this case, the May 9th meeting, it's going to pull up what we call meeting overview, which is a linked out version of the packet. So you can see that I'm able to see all of the items for this specific agenda that they posted out. And if I wanted to pull up maybe the agenda request form, I could click into that here and it gives me that information. So again, just making it easier to find things without having to scroll through maybe a 400-page packet. I'm also able to go to things like meeting files, and you'll see that I have the option to download PDF versions of whatever gets published out, or plain text versions, which is really good for ADA accessibility. So if someone's using maybe an assisted device. And then also they do use us for live streaming. So this would be a recording of their meeting. And they also timestamp here as well. So I'm able to just jump to specific items that I'm looking for, and it takes me to that specific part of the meeting to watch back. So this is the public facing side of things. Now I'm going to take you to what we call our board portal, which would be a specific portal for you as commissioners to utilize. So what can happen is once Carol or Michelle is done creating the agenda, what they can do is they can publish it out to the specific board portal. You would be able to log in with your own user ID and password on whatever device you're using. So whether you have a computer or like a desktop, laptop, iPad, Surface, whatever the case may be, you're going to be able to log in on that device, and you're going to be able to access the specific meeting date and time that you're looking for. And you're going to be able to see the full packet. So if you wanted to pull up the packet here, this will all be customized in implementation. So you'll have your logo, all of your information at the top. This is just a demo site example, but you can download or print this packet. You can also keep it in the system. So if you wanted to make annotations, so maybe you wanted to maybe highlight some things that you wanted to call out, or add some comments to remember about a date. Go ahead.
I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Mhm. Yes.
As far as publishing the whole packet, which I'm 100% in favor for. Whenever I was talking with our county attorney about this a couple of weeks ago, the only concern with that would be anything that would have to be redacted. Is that something that y'all handle on y'all's end, or is that going to be extra work for the county attorney's office, where they're going to have to review this all prior to it getting put on there and redact whatever?
Yeah, so good question. So what you can do, we have what we call confidential attachments in the system. So if someone is uploading, maybe it's something to do with HR and it's someone's pay, right? You don't necessarily want the public to see that information. So what you can do is you can mark that attachment as confidential, and it would not show up in the public packet. It would only show up in the commissioner's packet. Yeah.
So, ma'am, let me ask, the commissioner packet, if we, when we come to a meeting, everything that we need for that meeting will be uploaded to the commissioner packet, that's what I'm understanding, is that correct?
After.
Huh?
I think after the meeting would be uploaded. Is that correct?
I think it's before.
Oh,
They would have access to it before.
So that's what I'm saying, we'll have access before, we can use that information during the meeting, correct? When you pull it up, you just, that's what I'm.
Yes, yeah, exactly. They could upload that information to you all as commissioners before the meeting, so you all have access to it beforehand to, look at and access, whatever the case may be. And again, you have the ability to notate this before the meeting, because you can always save this, so you can save it, and then if you pull it back up at the meeting, all your notes are going to be there. There's also going to be the ability to jump into each specific item. So if I were to come here and say, okay, I want to see, item 9 here, this approval of agenda management software. I click into that item. I'm able, let's say you want to see the action request form. You could pull that up, same idea. You can notate it, whatever the case may be. Save those notations. You can pull up all the specific attachments and make notes this way. Then again, these auto-save for you to refer back to at a later date. Now, just like the public has searching capabilities, you also will have searching within this portal as well. So if you are a big note taker, or you use this portal to its fullest capability, you're going to have the ability. So let's say you've been in office for a while, you've attended all of these meetings, and you want to find something that has to do with the zoning ordinance, but you don't necessarily remember where that ordinance was approved at, or whatever the case may be. What you can do is you can hit this little magnifying glass. You can hit search. You can type in the keyword that you're looking for. We'll hit search here. You can say, you can even do by date range if you have an idea of when that was discussed. But I can see that I have one item that has to do with the zoning ordinance. I can see that it's on November 15th. So if I were to click into this specific item name, it takes me to that specific agenda. I can pull up the attachment that has to do with this item and view that. I can view the notes that I took here. And then again, I can go and view the whole agenda by just hitting the agenda details and viewing the whole packet here. So I can pull up other items or whatever the case may be. So any questions on the functionality of the board, or any additional questions of functionality of the board portal? Yeah, okay. So I am going to ask Carol or Michelle, is there anything additional that you wanted me to showcase outside of the board portal and the public portal?
Whoever wanted to create an agenda think that's a lot of question, I think, for the commissioners, how they present an agenda item for this then. If they don't want to fill it out, we can do this online, is what I'm saying, so.
And we can still print it out for you to fill it out.
You're breaking out a little bit, but I think you asked to showcase how an agenda item is created on the back end.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the back end here. So as she said, this is the staff side of things. This is not viewable to the public. Again, this is internal only. This is just a demo site example of the back end of the agenda. So again, this is going to be completely customized in that implementation process. But if someone wants to submit an item to be on this agenda, what they can do is they can just hit create and they would select create item. They're going to select the section that they want their item to fall under. So in this case, I just want it to come on the agenda itself, and I don't want it to be under consent agenda. I just want it to be the next item here. So I'm just gonna hit agenda. We're gonna give our agenda item a name. So I'm just gonna say that this is, I'm gonna just use one example that I already have on here. So we're gonna say approval of, I'm going to select what type of item this is. Again, this is going to be completely customizable in that implementation process to match what items you guys need listed. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that this is a contract under 25K. And I'm going to hit create item. What this is going to do is this is going to bring me to what we call the item fields page, which is where you build out your agenda request forms. So if I scroll down, it's going to have the fields that need filled out for this specific form. So all I need to do is type in the information that I want to populate on the form itself. So I can just say, we want to discuss need for AMS through Civic Plus, help in the creation. We'll say creation and distribution of meeting materials. And I just scroll down and again, fill out the fields that I think need to be filled out for this specific form. Various things that we can implement here. So if you have repeated language that is used on a consistent basis, we can create what we call text snippets. So for example, some of our clients will have like what their strategic plans or goals are for the year included on these reports. And we can automatically create that language where it populates for you to save you some typing time. Or you can see here, you can just create different ones. But what that does is it will take that information that you typed into those empty fields and it will just automatically populate it into the agenda item request form for you. The great thing about this is it's streamlining some of this. So it's automatically putting the date here for you on this form. So if, let's say, Carol needed to move this to a different date, she wouldn't have to worry about coming in and updating this in two different places. She moves the item from one agenda to the next, your form is automatically going to update. So it kind of helps relieve some of that manual work when it comes to updating things on this form.
And at the bottom, can you create additional?
Now, getting additional attachments. So once this form is created, you can come here and go to item files, hit add attachments. Here is the different confidentiality levels. So you could have one that just says, commissioners. And if it was something that was not meant for the public eye, you just have to select the one that says commissioners and it would just be included in the commissioners packet only. I'm going to go ahead and say they're non-confidential. And we're going to select a couple of files. And we'll upload this in. So the great thing about this is you can upload a Word file, PDF, image, Excel, PowerPoint, any major file type that you can think of, you can upload directly inside of the system. And the system is going to do the work for you as far as converting it over to PDF. Now, once I'm ready to submit this item for approval to be on the agenda, all I have to do is hit start approvals. And it'll go through a workflow that Carol and Michelle have set up on the back end to be approved to be on the agenda itself. But again, what the system is doing is it's taken that information that you've put on the agenda request form.
Just want to make sure we're ready to go whenever they're ready to go.
Cases will say it's from point of purchase only.
Yes, I'll look at it. I'll touch base with them.
2 weeks at that time?
Oh, plenty of time.
All right, we will take this to the next agenda. Thank you, Carol. Okay, item number 12, discuss through disapprove authorizing the use of GO 201-681-4365 emergency response court ordered funds by the Road and Bridge Department to address damages resulting from recent flooding and to prevent damage from reoccurring.
Yes, good morning, Court. Prior to May 1, we had authorized pretty much all of our non-court ordered funds, about $500,000 for emergency response, to address damages caused by what I would consider as pretty historic April floods. Then we had the first May roll around, we had another round of floods that were also pretty significant, very significant. And that not only did that create some additional damages, it also tore up a lot of what we already fixed. And right now we're in the process of compiling the list of roads that are damaged, compiling the damage, developing our estimates. We've also got people out on the road as of yesterday just starting to get before we can get back into the roads and work on it because it's starting to dry out. But so we are doing a lot of work with our in-house staff. But this is going to likely take up every bit of the additional funds I'm requesting permission to go ahead and start spending. We're tracking them all with a emergency response project. So we're able to give you a good accounting not only of the roads, but all the stuff that was just related to these floods. So the repairs are going to consist of both repairs to culverts, head walls. We're going to do some stabilization. We've had a couple of culverts wash out. There's 5 low water crossings we'll probably be putting in. A whole bunch of roadside shouldering work that we're likely to use our in-house staff for, as well as some cross-section reclaiming. And I'll provide you guys a more comprehensive, detailed report on that damage probably at next quarter. But at this point in time, we're able to get back in the right way of work. It's drying out, and we're going to need to make this money available so we can go ahead and start authorizing contractors to get out here and help us put this infrastructure back together.
For transparency to the public, this is there's 2 funds for the Road and Bridge Department. One of them is an emergency response fund that has had $500,000 in it, $500,000 in it. It is not a court road engineer does not have it from the court to spend that $500,000. I believe that he's exhausted those $500,000. And this is a court ordered fund that has an additional $500,000 in it. So you're looking at $1 million in a couple months. I would like to see that list in dollar amounts for the damage. I would also like to see in some of the pictures that were presented, the frac companies, the water pipe transfer companies, they had pipes going through our culverts that did not allow the water to get through the culverts, which in my opinion caused a bunch of that damage. I hope those folks come accountable. So the taxpayer not having to eat this whole $1 million. But I would like to see a list of roads and the amount of damage that you're saying. I would like to see who those companies are that are in those pictures, that clogged up our culverts. If that would be something, I know that we talked about that, years ago, about those roads using that culvert.
Judge, I can speak to the latter. We've encountered no situations out there on this round. We have encountered that before, and we have held those companies responsible before. But on this round, this was just all flooding. There was nothing that the water line people did that would have reduced it. In my professional opinion, I've just not seen any of that.
When are you sure?
Yes, sir, I am sure. In fact, this one of them we're looking at it, and with 215, as we talked about in the field, the 4-foot diameter pipe was basically set too low, and it was absolutely not enough head wall to allow that water to flow. And I've looked at the pictures as they come in. There just really wasn't any of that damage that what you're describing. It wasn't on this time. Like I said, we identified it whenever I have, and that's, we've gone after them. But at this point, we've identified none of that damage. If we do, we'll go after them just like we have in the past.
On that specific road that you're talking about, where the head wall was set too low, how do you do that?
That was a project that happened, I think it was in the 2017 period. It was some of the old state funding that our previous, that was previously engineered long before I got here. But they weren't really doing anything on those projects, but just putting in asphalt. And there wasn't any drainage adjustments. All the drainage adjustments and that sort of thing has been something that this board started happening around 20. And so we've been making those changes, and so that's what happened. So it's an old legacy situation that you see out there.
I would still like to see a list of roads and undertakings for roads before tax the taxpayers another $500 million. I mean, just to give it another $500 million, I understand the damage out there, but we've already gone through the $500 million, and now it's just open the gate, here's another $500 million without, I mean, we don't have anything to look at.
The issue is what I can tell you is on my own authority. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to go ahead, and I'm trying to do what I need to do, what I'm tasked with doing, which is to take care of the safety out there. I mean, I'm not gonna spend money that doesn't need to be spent on the road. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, is taking care of it safe. We've got a lot of safety issues out there. We've got roads that are closed down, and I can't, we put in place a really good purchase order system, and I can't get people authorized to go start working until I have access to these funds. And so that the information will be forthcoming. It will be there. But at this point, we need to go ahead and get people moving. We need to go ahead and get people moving and make these repairs more than just our internal staff. Because if we don't do that, we're leaving safety issues in the right of way, and it's not something I would recommend.
Well, I do see exactly what the judge brings about seeing transparency on all the monies being used, especially if it's $1 million and $500,000.
Sure.
Dollars have to be used, $500,000 are going to be used, but you're saying that these funds right here, these funds are required in order to proceed with these projects?
That's correct, Commissioner.
And you have something that's gonna come to the board that's gonna show you all this money.
That's correct. That's correct. As I've had in the past, I will be able to provide the pictures before. Here's what we're doing. Here's what I estimate it's going to cost us to do. And we'll have an after evaluation where we'll have those same pictures, and we'll provide all that information in the way of the packet. The last time this occurred, we worked with Commissioner Dubnik to have that posted up to the state as well.
Judge, if I can, I also want to be able to upload those again this time, again as well, because I think I leveled $65,000 of damage. And this sounds like it's way above $65,000. we might be able to get some FEMA funds out.
I don't have a problem. I do agree with the judge when we need something to see what.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with funding that 500,000. It's gonna be to fund the road, which of course I know is good. And that's gonna, when will that start? Immediately?
Immediately, yes. We've got projects that we've already identified. Like I said, the 5 low water crossings. One of them was low water crossing we acted very quickly on that was washed out. It's occurred again. And so we need to go ahead and get these things moving so that we can get contractors out there to put this in. We've got to get some engineering done, and some of which will be being done in-house. So yes, sir, that's what we're needing to do, is get going immediately.
I'm gonna put the motion out on the table, but I do want the information on this.
Yes, sir.
I'll make the motion to approve item number 12 as presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All for, item number 13. Discuss, approve, disapprove, authorizing county officials to take actions necessary to provide monetary compensation to Karnes County Road and Bridge staff when responding to emergency call-outs and or overtime activities need to mitigate safety issues relating to flood damage when authorized by the road and bridge engineer.
Yes, we had, as we responded to the storms, we typically, on these emergency callouts, we typically use comp time in the past. There have been instances, extreme instances of fires a couple of years ago when Commissioner Goodman was able to come forward and say, hey, listen, we want to go ahead and compensate these people for going above and beyond. In responding to this last round of storms, we had about 9 people that put in about 54 hours. Cost of that, cost of that is typically somewhere in the neighborhood of $2,000, $2,100, not including the overhead pipe and all that sort of thing. And honestly, these people came out, they did the first responder job by going ahead and doing this. I mean, we're talking people had to get out either in the middle of the night, come in and do this additional work. I mean, they had to go ahead and get on the road, and they weren't planning on doing it in rough weather conditions. And honestly, it gets to be sort of old whenever you're asking them to come out and just do it for compliment. And this was something that our staff is repeatedly asked you to come and put out in front of you guys. It's something that will they took care of us while the rest of us were sleeping in the house. And so in a pretty difficult situation. So what we're asking really is, instead of paying on comp time, which is the same dollar amount really, to go ahead and actually take it and give them and monetarily compensate them for their overtime they spent. Similar to what we did with the fire situation a couple of years ago.
What does the total cost? 64 hours?
54 hours, and various different people with various levels of salaries. But it's roughly just a straight kind of, not including pipe and all that stuff. You're talking about right at just under about $2,100. And we do have the funds in the salary budget to accommodate.
Is this a one-time deal or?
Right now, this is what I'm asking for is one time. And in this situation, I'll be, as we talk to the judge, I'll be bringing some stuff back to budget time to look at doing a managed overtime approach to encourage participation, because a lot of us old guys are not able to do what we used to do. But this time, it's just a one-time deal.
What was the environment you're talking about? So,
We had remember we had the wildfires, the guy was going around starting fires. And we had to get these guys that would bring water in their water trucks and stuff to supplement the fire departments and helping out. We had, there was several fires that started, like one started at Nance, and it went all the way on, could get 99, and there was those fires, and also the fires up there on 627, and some other fires we've had. That's during that summer. They supplemented they just kept on drinking water and blocking roads and stuff like that, stuff we didn't have the people to do.
We did it, we paid it, I remember that.
That's overtime?
Yes, and each other brought to the work to ask for permission to do it.
Yes, I did ask the courts to pay them overtime.
It might have been before your time.
No, he was judging here. He did the court out on the rest.
At the end of the day, it's really how you compensate them. Yes. I mean, they're either gonna be compensated by taking off comp time, or they'll be compensated on, either way the money processing is.
Are they getting the comp time as well, in addition to the?
They would not be comp time. This would be literally just payment for services for over and above the normal 40 hours a day.
And you have the money, in your budget.
Yes, sir, we do.
All right, Judge, I move that we approve authorizing, county officials, will take action to necessary to provide monetary compensation for the Karnes County Road staff in response to emergency call-outs and overtime activities needed to mitigate safety issues related to flood damage authorized by the road bridge engineer.
I'll second. For a one-time
One-time event.
Take this payroll or next payroll? Next payroll work better with us.
That's easier for them.
Yes.
Well, it's something we're going to do, like you say, we're going to discuss it.
I don't want to get, because then I think it's too easy to take advantage of that, with all the comp time that's already built up. I think that there's a problem with comp time that's being built up, that I'm looking into. And I will take the lead on that, but overtime is a big mess. Jump to that, so there's a motion and a second, all those in favor signify for one-time payment as, Commissioner, you think, present, think I've already correct, anybody opposed, thank you. Item number 14, discuss, approve, disapprove, to discuss and approve the following regarding property located at 1178 FM 1353, Karnes City, Texas 78118. Number 1, survey completed by Intrepid Survey, PO Box 1209, Polk, Texas 78147. Commissioner Rosales.
This agenda item, I put it on there just so we could, the job has gotten done already on the survey. But it was a good survey on there. They noticed right here when they did the survey that there's one point on the corner that there's 15-foot missing out of the fence line that was installed. I'm not sure why they put that, but I'll explain to you later on another agenda item what I did with that. But that was the only thing that I noticed there. The payment 15, want something to be more. But besides that, I'm the commissioner. This also met with them several times about their living also. But it was a good survey. It was done by Intrepid Survey. You met out there with them? Was there anything that you seen that you agree that it's their survey on it? Are you happy with the survey on that?
Yes, we required 50.
We what, wired?
Yes. Well, the pin was already there, Judge, but with the way, rather than being a square like that, it was just here and it kind of pie shaped like that. Why they did it, whenever they took out a big brush in there. Well, they probably had it equipment when they did this. I don't know, I wasn't there, but I would say that was an oversight of the report. They missed that 15 feet for whatever reason. But when this survey did come in, it did go all the way 15 feet like that, so it made the property more shorter than what it was. And I will address that in the other agenda items. Sorry, Judge. I'm so sorry. It wasn't the phone, it wasn't a walk, but one of the constituents. I will.
I'm moving to approve item 14.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Ready to vote. Item number 15, discuss, approve, disapprove, to discuss and approve the following regarding the property located at 1178 FM 1353, Karnes City, Texas 78118. Number 1, inspection completed by Wayne Boats, track number 20821, inspect code 130 County Road 444, Hondo, Texas 78861. Mr. Rosales.
Okay, on this inspection, they gave us a full inspection on all the property there. I had sent this to the commissioners, I gave it to them on paper and also through the email. We sent it on email. Commissioner Ritchie was also very involved in this inspection. There's a little bit of issues of like water heater needs to be replaced, $7,800. There's a couple of ceiling tiles that are wet, that's some compensation from the air conditioning system. The foundation, there is some stretch cracks along the windows and doors. Nothing that's over 3/16 to 1/4 inch. Anything on a building like that, if it's from 3/16 to 1/4 inch, that would be an indication to a foundation problem. I went back to the people from the inspect code and I asked them to please verify that with me for the stress cracks and all that. And they verified that with me and Commissioner Ritchie, that cracks from 3/16 to 1/4 inch, that would be an indication to a foundation problem. Also, there's a deflection, which means one side is higher than the other. When it's offset, they checked on that building and they said, no, there's no deflection on that. Also gaps, like if you onto a house and there's a frame pulling away from the wall, there was also nothing like that done. So we did, me and Commissioner Ritchie did spend a lot of time with them in the office, calling them, asking them about the structure on it, the roof on it. The roof is a heavier built roof on it. It's more built like in the northern from the snow. It doesn't have any leaks. It doesn't have any deficiency on it. We checked all the screws. We asked them to do the screws each of the replaced, the rubber and the screws with that. They said no, that everything, there's no deficiencies on that. We questioned them about those tiles that were wet. That was from the condensation. There is one unit that is not working, one unit is working, but we do have Renee as our aide, and he works with ACs, and it has like some parts on top of it. So that was one thing that was all pointing, but no structural damage, nothing wrong with the structure, nothing wrong with the foundation from the inspection here. Nothing wrong with the roof. The roof is not leaking. It's not have any. I guess the roofs are always going to leak in years to come, but as of right now, it's good. The plumbing out there, some of the things, guys, you'll see here, like on the toilet, there's a couple of other things, but nothing major. Just needs to seal. They haven't been sitting a while. The place has had electricity on it for all this time that it's been there. Some of the plumbing needs covering on the outside. In the meantime, when the building was built, it was built for the water to run away from the building. As the years went by, some of that covering around the building has lowered a little bit, so we would have to come back in maybe with a truckload of maybe some 3/4 inch base to dust, go back around it, just let it drain off back at least, just drain away from the building, because they said the way the building is designed, it needs that little height on it, but there's nothing wrong with it right now, but it'd be better if we go back around the building with a little height and a couple of inches, to make sure that water drains away from it, so we can keep the foundation good on that.
And also that big flow light valve for the city water company was leaking quite a bit. And, Alco company sent a crew out there and they replaced that $3,000 back flow valve.
For transparency, they also had gone in there and removed some of the systems that were in there. We called them back, met with them on the phone conference, with Commissioner Lissy. They were more than happy. They came back, installed everything back, made sure everything was working. They apologized for it. It was just oversight on their part, no problem, no damage done, no issue with that at all.
That was the key card system and the camera security system. Jimmy was out there and met with them.
I'm sorry.
No.
Jimmy was out there too, he met with them on all of this, everything was back installed. We did bring Jimmy into it to take a look at all of this too.
They're going to bring more stuff, key cards and show you how to.
Yes, they gave me access to all that admin access.
And the system's been fine, everything.
Yes.
Is it a good system?
It's a good system. It's getting a little outdated. So, we've worked with different vendors to try to get a quote for updating them. So.
Court on the inspection, this is what we have. Any question that we'll try to answer, we did. And we did inform some of these people that can meet in court, but everybody on these things were busy, they had elsewhere to be, and we said that's fine. So we did have lengthy meetings with most of these people, and Commissioner is in the office, so there's anything I can answer, if there are any questions or something that I might have overlooked, I apologize, but I'll try to answer it. That's,
I have a question.
yes, of course.
Is the inspector signing off saying that there's no foundation problems? Is he gonna provide the court with something saying that there's no foundation problems? Because I'm gonna go through this inspection for transparency for the taxpayers and everybody in here. Of course. Is he gonna sign off on the no foundation problems?
Well, not sure, but when you hire, well, I know you know that, but hiring this guy, this person to inspect the company, he gave us this and he's putting his name on it. Do you want something like written in there? I guess it's something.
In the original inspection that I had gone over, there is nothing noted from the inspector saying that there's not foundation problems.
Says the foundation appears to perform the function intent.
There's I agree I'm just gonna go through the pages, grading and drainage, yes, the building's been sitting there for a long time, extending the gutters, that's no big deal. Walls, interior walls, most rooms have holes cut or intentionally placed from hanging items. Obviously, it was an office building. Branches, trees that are growing up, next to it, that need to be taken out, obviously. The foundation problems that I see, and on page 6 of 25, starting, cracks in the sheetrock wall covering, noted at the reception office window, over the door to the rear stockroom and communications room, over a window in the rear stockroom, below a window in the front left meeting room, above the right side exterior door, at the two left windows at both the left rear offices and at break room windows. That's page 6 of 25. Page 7 of 25 has the pictures. There's a couple of them that's pretty significant. Page 8, another shows another photo of the crack there. Next item down, the siding material is damaged, noted at the rear of the building along the bottom edge of the condensing units and electrical panels.
Why is it not shut down all of that? I apologize, Judge.
There's rust, I don't know, you know, I'm just making my observations, from my years of building experience as well. There's rust, I don't know if it's caused from water inside or if there was groundwater intrusion, from the outside that causes all the rust there. Is there an interior? Is there an interior? Inadequate.
Inside you agree.
And that, is he saying that's, you're saying that's what caused the rust? You're saying that's what caused the rust? No, it just says inadequate clearance between siding and grade, recommended to have 4 to 6 inches of the foundation visible around the structure. Slab base is not visible from the front side of the building.
It's some material needs to be removed.
I'm not going to sit up here and argue with you. I'm telling you what I see in the picture, so that there's rust. And I can see the slab myself. The next item down, ceilings and floors, evidence of moisture staining on the ceiling tiles, noted above the refrigerator in the break room, and also along the rear of both ceiling tiles. In the right rear stockroom office, plumbing supply pipes are present over the stain in the break room with no indication on the pipe of previous leakage. The copper lines of the condensing units run along the rear wall of the attic area over the right rear stockroom office and shows signs of condensation drips. So that's probably something you have to do. Then you have your leaky, your tiles that are stained. Holes present in the ceiling tiles, those right there. The next item is really concerns me again about foundation issues. Doors, interior and exterior. Doors rust the door frame noted at the communications closet and lock room. Doors out, adjustment of the strike plate on frame and pulls open without turning the handle noted at the right rear stock room. That there are hall front office and electrical that is strike plate. Glass insert is mounted at the exterior doors. Door runs the door frame, noted at the front door mounted to the wall, extending out to the right of the building. Shock system cannot pull out the adjustment left chain, it can respond to power, I guess, for that. The cracks in walls and doors, rubbing drains, indicate foundation issues to me. In all my years of chimney, water drops are present on walls below the door awnings. Awnings are not well sealed against the walls here. That water damage on both inside. Electrical systems, defects may exist. Certain electrical subpanels can become unsafe in some instances. It has an underground service. Multiple service lugs. I don't know the electrician. I think that's probably something that probably needs to be addressed. And having our service panel covered. Panel covers. Test indicates inoperable blood, allergy for chicklets. It's not secure for all shipped out of place. Again, shipping going on. Junction box is not that covered. Another major concern for me is the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. Efficient in his opinion. Filter pluggers missing or removed and no filter is installed. I have a major concern about running air conditioners without filters for any amount of time. All that does is go back into the unit and that's probably major problems.
He said the oils were clean.
The unit did not respond when tested, unknown reason. Thermostat only goes to 72 and temperature inside was 75. That's left side SC1, MFD 02 12 is the exact date on that. On the right side, FCU2 filter covers missing or removed, and the filter installed was the wrong side. Unit did not respond when tested. Unknown reason. Thermostat only goes up to 72 degrees, and inside temperature during the inspection was 75. Cooling equipment, rear left unit, AC condensing unit number 1, that's 15 amp breaker. That's good. I'm assuming that's a good thing. Their temperature differential was not determined. Unit did not respond when tested. Unknown reason. Thermostat only goes down to 69 degrees. Inside temperature and inspection at inspection was 75 degrees. Recommended cleaning service and or further evaluations by the licensed professional. That's what if the corrective action is needed. Duct system chases, filter is dirty, missing, noted in both units, recommended to be cleaned or replaced. The plumbing supply, private plumbing is the sewer, I'm sorry, the water source is a public source. It has a private septic system. It does not tie into the city. Leaks at the kitchen sink, then shower through lavatory, leakage is present at the bottom of the valve handle when turned on. So that means that water is being turned off there. Rear mid shower with leakage is present at the bottom of the flush valve when used. In fact, it reduces the floor. The floor mounting with wiggles, winch factor and leakage is present at the bottom of the flush valve when used. Main factor and leakage is present at the flush valve when used. The backflow, Mr. Lucy said that they came to replace that backflow. It's pretty significant leak there. Wrapping PVC aggregated over time is simply wrapping. The water heater, yes, it does look like a opinion. Mr. Gonzalez said yes, that is going to have to be replaced. I noticed that. I looked at my notes. It looked like the water heater was bad. The drain line is not plumbed the exterior. So it makes sense for not seeing the deal. Those are my concerns. Some of the other stuff is minor. I do have some concerns, especially after what we've been attempting to try to do in our annex building. We have major foundation issues that haven't been addressed there yet. I want the public to know that I've had some concerns. The inspector showed that there's those concerns there. If the inspector is willing to sign off on that, and we have some way to go back and go back after them for foundation problems, then he signs off on that. Otherwise, we'll try to build in this check box. I'm not.
Well, I move we approve the following recording of property located 1170 FM 1353 Karnes City, Texas 781. Where approved inspection was completed by Wayne votes. Inspect vote. On Third County Road 444, Hondo, Texas 78861.
Now, right here it says suggested foundation maintenance and care. Line 8. Proper drainage and moisture maintenance to all the types of foundation due to the expensive nature of the area low bearing soils. So meaning that they do shed some. Okay, drainage must be directed away from all sides of the foundation with grade slopes in most cases. Floor covering and/or stored articles prevent recognition of signs of settlement, cracking, and all but the most severe cases. It is important to note that this was not a structural engineering survey, nor was any specialized testing done of any sub-snap plumbing system during this limited visual inspection, as these are specialized processes requiring excavation in the event that structural movement is noted. Karnes is advised to consult with a structural engineer who can isolate and identify causes and determine what corrective steps that, if any, should be considered to either correct or stop construction movement. With that red right there, I read through all of this, that's when I told the commissioner to see, first to send the office and call this Inspecco, and this is when the Inspecco gave me these right here about the border edge, that there would be no indications of foundation problem, they would have to be up to a quarter of an inch. There's no deflection on any of the cracks, and also there's no frames put in the way for any of the walls or anything. That would indicate a major foundation issue, but as you know, as a builder, any building that you put up is gonna have some kind of structure movement. If they all do, no matter what ground you put it on, even when you put it on the rocks up there in the Rocky Mountains. So they're gonna have stress cracks on them, because that unique in that wall, when you put a window, you put a board, you have some types of stress cracks. Almost on concrete, stucco, on whatever kind of finish you put on there. I do see, of course, I respect the judge very much, and I do see where he's coming from on this, but, I would never, ever just jump into something like that. I did call this company, and they said from what they do, and they do this all the time, they said they didn't see any reason to do any more, or what they said here, if any, engineer or like a structural engineer, or one of those. If the cracks would have been a 3/16 or an inch, that size or bigger, they said that they would have recommended the structural engineer come in and take a look at it.
What page is that?
This is what I have here is from the judge.
Now, and so my question is he willing to put his name on it? Is he gonna make that guarantee? Because above that, they read that you should have a structural engineer come in and look at that.
It said, Brian is advised to consult with the structural engineer who can isolate and identify causes and determine what corrective steps, if any, should be considered to either or stop structural movement. That's what we called him, and I asked him about that, and he said, no, that if it was anything, what I just repeated, if there was anything with this, he would say that he would have to go to a structural engineer. And I don't know, Judge, being that he just does an inspection, I can't answer that one, if he's ready to sign that off.
But in his recommendation, it says we should consult the structure.
What he has here, if any, but when I gave him a call, all he gave me these, and I apologize, but a main commissioner, listen for that, and, in the office, and he told me these 3 notes right here. And he said, if it was any one of these 3, that would be the concern to consult. And I apologize, I didn't put that in.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Opposed? Item number 17, discuss, approve, disapprove, to discuss and approve the following regarding the property located at 1178 FM 1353, Karnes City, Texas 78118. Number 1, appraisal completed by Merrill E. Swanson, ARA, Rockbridge Property Advisors, 9901 Heights 10 West, Suite 1035, San Antonio, Texas 78230.
We also did an appraisal on it. We came out with a purchase price of $850,000. When they did the appraisal on it, the operators did the appraisal on it. The indicated value that they believe that the building sits as of right now, $980,000. I will make the motion to approve item number 17 as presented.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Those opposed? Opposed? Item number 18. Discuss, approve, disapprove, to approve the county auditor to issue payment in the amount of $856,479.75 for the purchase price That's the earnest money and plus or minus applicable proration, and the county treasurer release final payment to Stewart Title Company to complete the purchase of property located at 1178 FM 1353 North City, Texas 78118 to be paid from general ledger number 200-680-4604 property acquisition. Commissioner Rosa.
The closing statement, when I put it on the agenda, was $856,479.75. On Friday, after it was put on the agenda, they sent us word that the closing statement went down on the price. It went down $175 to $856,304.75. The reason for that is the champion's attorneys prepared the warranty deed. On the original closing statement, there was $175 on there for doing that warranty, for doing the warranty deed. But what they sent us on Friday, it went down $175 on that. And the reason for that is for the warranty. They prepared it themselves. Jennifer, county attorneys. On a motion like this, that it was on there, when I said it on there, it was for $856,479.75. It is now $856,304.75. Does that need an oral amendment, since it's $175 difference?
I don't think you can do all amendment, just minimal change.
It's going down $175. And that oral amendment, it has to be explained, the reason why we're doing the oral amendment.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve item number 18 as presented, but making an oral amendment. Reason for the oral amendment is it went from $856,479.75 to $856,304.75. Reason is because the champion's attorneys prepared the warranty fee. That's why there's $175. Yes, that's the difference. Is that satisfactory? Good. I asked, she said it was fine.
I'll second that one.
Okay, you got a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Carried. All right, item number 19, consent agenda. We have reports from our EMS, our Constable Precinct 1, and Constable Precinct 4, and a budget amendment to movement fund 1.
Judge, can I ask a question about whenever you get to the point about pulling the report?
But do you want to pull a report?
Well, I just want to discuss the report for a constable.
We can pull it, we'll pull it online for you.
Thank you.
I believe we approved the consent. Okay, we've got a motion to approve the consent agenda. Full item, briefing for, Constable Briefing Water Board. All right, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda? That is one. Carried. Item number 20, Judge McGivney, back to discuss, Constable Briefing.
All right, get a clarification. I know they don't have a unit, but they do have access to body cameras. Is that correct, Sheriff?
Yes, sir.
And they have failed to go pick them up.
They're at the office. All 4 body cams are at the office. Been there since Commissioner's Court purchased them.
And then the bulletproof vest, how long will they do for?
Well, it's on there to 4 or 5 years. Depends what level you get.
Okay. So will the constable provide bulletproof vest?
I can
Did we
remember.
order something for everybody?
It's probably was different when Judge Long was
here.
Yeah, was here.
Okay, so those vests that they were given are probably expired.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And can they write tickets? They have access to ticket books or anything?
They should. All they have to do is purchase them.
Purchase them?
Yeah, unless they have cop sync in their vehicles. Well, you go a different way, but yeah, you can purchase tickets, the ticket books to write them.
Do we have a standard ticket book or y'all, everything's electronic now?
No, you can buy a standard one.
But do they have, y'all have?
We have some for backup if for some odd reason our cop sync goes down, but we very seldom use them.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Okay, let's have our updates from our commissioner starting precinct 1.
All right. I got to make Mr. Geezer tell me this morning that, and I got to commend Danny, Celeste. He found a guy dumping salt water on County Road 273. Guy been there for a couple of weeks. I hope we prosecute this group in the company because they're supposed to go someplace with the stuff and not in that ditch. So I'm going to have to do it, Judge. I want to go look at that, get with the sheriff and see what we got to do to file the appropriate charges and that'll be cleaned up, providing you know somebody's property, and that's another big issue. But I got to commend Danny for that. I attended a hurricane drill with Karnes last week. They had a hurricane simulation and everything as well. Also, I'm still waiting on NHG's signature so I can submit that to the state. Other than that, that's about all I've been doing. Some of the others looking at all the damage and stuff and had investigation with me and had some discussions about this thing. So
Thank you. Mr. Precinct 2.
We've been addressing some problems on County Road 204, 210. Everything is being resolved and we've been addressing lots of flood damage. We got the no tractor trailer parking signs put up at the Ball City Cemetery, so now that the Sheriff's Department can issue citations, they will continue to be parking there. Numerous phone calls, I'm sure that all of the commissioners is the same thing. Been working with the Fall City, City Council on some issues with the property between our county yard and the street right of way. Had a meeting with our area engineer with TxDOT. And I met with Shelby and Wayne, the judge was there too, about a meeting that the judge couldn't put on, as close as we can, about the microprices. And that's about all. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Green, sir.
I traveled over about 21 miles of the county roads in precinct 3. I noticed a couple of problems, minor problems here and there. I spoke with the engineer about that. Right now, I'm getting it all prepared in my office, getting it all written out, and I'm committed to the engineer. He's okay with that, and we're gonna address those issues just as soon as we can. It was nothing major, it was just some asphalt, the curves were getting a little bit smaller, and that goes from the heavy traffic going through there, it starts eating on the side. I've already spoken with him, and we will put that and address that as soon as possible. I got several phone calls from the constituents about the roads. I went out there and I met with the people. I met yesterday with some other folks, before some other folks from some of the county roads. They do have some issues on there. I had the engineer go out there immediately and address the issues also. We are going to have a meeting this coming week on some of those issues and go forth with that, and then have some answers for the constituents. And Homer, also I've had several phone conferences with Homer about this, but we haven't taken care of business.
Thank you, Mr. Precinct 4.
Yes, I attended the Columbia Chamber of Commerce casino night. It was a very, very good event. Met with some constituents about continual road improvements and their concerns, and passed them on road bridges. Also traveled quite a bit of roads throughout the last 2 weeks, just checking in to make sure everything's still passable. Also been with the city on a couple of things, and also with the judge coming down early in the 2 weeks here, and visited with him on a couple items. And but that's about it.
Item number 2, discussion / acknowledgement of personnel changes of departments. Let's see. All right, we've got new hires with Lorraine Brown and Austin Checker with Elders Jailer. June is left the sheriff's department. No retirements. We are currently hiring police supervisions, officer, EMS paramedic, EMS PRN EMT. AEMT paramedic, road bridge maintenance tank 3, sheriff patrol deputy, HR specialist. I will be doing interviews next week with eyes gracious enough to come to them. She's been doing an excellent job helping out with the HR with Taylor and eyes. So we'll be doing those interviews in the library part-time. All right, item number 23, payment of bill. I have a question. Where is this $4,056.82 on my page? Page 1, the county judge salary supplement statement. So refund of excess constitutional funds.
Right, and I want to help share on that. If we did receive a supplement, we're not going to ask for that.
That dollar amount was sent to us in error, they asked for it back, but then the next day we got your $5,050.
Pay me more. There you go. That's what everybody knows.
So, also, the total bills for today was $563,838.32. The only mortgage taker items were getting an ambulance chassis for one of our taps was for EMS, I drove approved on the budget amendment, so that was gonna be $71,000 and we're paying and 0 and 4, and then road and bridge, I mean, that would have it up as they have always do in summer, so $372,000 total billings for the road and bridge funds.
Did we have a late fee associated, Department 465 judicial or expert witness testimony?
Yeah, there was an expert, invoice that came through from the district attorney's office, and we checked with Judge Gillingham on that, she approved that as well.
Was there a late fee or not?
It was what, sir?
Was there a late fee?
Oh,
Okay.
no, nothing I'm aware of. And then maybe another charge on that as well, but the rules may have, that as well.
In the sheriff's department, we have pickup bucket and hay spear at Wolf's Crossing on 318. You know what that is there?
It might have been a stolen, and we towed it. Is there a fee next to it?
318.
Yes, that's a towing fee.
It was stolen. So we have a wreck on heavy equipment repairs. We have a total bill of $517. And this work is welding to rebuild a rear bumper on VIN number 121215.
No, sir, it was not a wreck, it was it was a fair amount of good work, but the bumper wasn't, I think was later an incident, but it came off, we had to rebuild.
Yeah, down, but we have a patrol car that got wrecked, right? Boy, I'm sure what's going on.
What else would have been cheaper?
Yeah, I did want to point out to you, from Texaco, I did do the presentation on the software, so when we're certain we can upload this bill list to the agendas. You know, I've been getting to you guys by 5 o'clock on Friday, this is almost certain, so that would put that out there as well for the public.
So you can update this to that new program, you decide to get it. Tom, in our budget, in our bill thing, can you go back in there and pull the cost for building only?
Yeah.
The whole history with it?
Yes, sir.
When you sell the cow,
I'm sorry?
you're restraining, you sell it?
Yes.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second to the bills, all those in favor, signify by raising your right hand. Anybody opposed? Item number 24, acknowledge Commissioner Court will meet for a public meeting today, May 23rd, 2023 at 1 p.m. in Karnes County Historic Courtroom located right here at 101 Henry at North Henry Avenue, Suite 200, Karnes City, Texas 78118. And item number 25, the motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.